All right, guys. So I wanted to share something very quickly this morning that I had the opportunity to read. So disclaimer, this is in reference to the Bible. So I'm going to read a verse in the book of Ephesians chapter 5. Matter of fact, I'll probably read two verses, verses 16 and 17. Before I get into these verses, though, I want to share why I felt it was very important to actually share this and what I believe or how I believe this can help others. All right. So as you know, many of us are entrepreneurs. Some of us are entrepreneurs from the sense of having side hustles. Some of us are entrepreneurs in the sense of providing jobs for other people. And ultimately, what we're doing, no matter what stage of entrepreneurship that you're in, what we're ultimately doing is that we are essentially buying time in a sense, right? So if you work a 9-to-5, for example, let's say you're not yet ready for the entrepreneurial leap, but you know you want to at some point. Well, if you are working a 9-to-5 career or any type of job, honestly, you probably save up for vacation, or in some cases, people save up for retirement. And so if you think about it, what we're all doing is we are buying back time. Another example of that would be going back to the business owner. If you're a business owner and you're buying tools, resources for your business, you're buying those resources essentially so that you can have more time. So there's more efficiency. And you're hoping that that efficiency leads to more profit. You're hoping that that profit leads to more freedom in which you can actually spend time with those that you love, right? That's the idea there. If not, then it's basically pointless, right? If the idea is just to gain money, but not to gain any sense of freedom, mobility, then it's kind of worthless, right? So we're all essentially buying time. So in the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 16, here's what stood out to me as I was looking at this morning. And so, this is why I want to share it with you. Now, I'm reading from a version called the Amplified version. Obviously, there are tons of different versions of the Bible, but this is the Amplified. It says, "Make the very most of time, because the days are evil." Now, if you're looking at the Amplified or the AMPC, Amplified Classic version, they has brackets after the word time, where it says, "Buying up each opportunity." Buying up each opportunity. Now, what's pretty cool about this is that I went to a few workshops actually, where they talk about different ways to elevate a person's business. Now, this is more or less in reference to more service-based industries, but it is applicable to physical products. And what they basically said was to create different offers. So in other words, you don't necessarily have to sell anything new, particularly. You have to package it a different way. And the way that you package it is you present it to your general public, your audience, your customer base, etc., as an opportunity or as an offer. And I think a great example of this in business, from what I have seen, is McDonald's. Like the Happy Meal. I have children, so the Happy Meals at McDonald's, as an actual product, in my opinion, at least from the perspective of a parent that has children, is undefeated. Okay, undefeated. It's superb. It's fantastic. They've done an amazing job. Why? Why do I say this? Okay, here's why. At McDonald's, what you'll notice is that the Happy Meal itself never changes. Think about it. The Happy Meal never changes. It's either going to be chicken nuggets or cheeseburgers. It's going to be, French fries and apples, or apple juice, or whatever else. The contents really never changes for the actual Happy Meal. However, what's so cool about the Happy Meal is that What does change with it is how well the box is decorated based on what promotion they're using, and then also what toy is inside of the Happy Meal. Now, the toy and the box are always a limited time thing. So, for example, they may have a partnership with Mattel for Barbie, right? And, there's a promotion for Barbie, whatever. And so now what happens? Well, limited time edition, or for a limited time, you'll have access to a Barbie toy within your Happy Meal. Limited supply, limited time, right? The exterior of that actual box is going to represent what is on the inside of that actual box. Okay? But the Happy Meal itself never changes. How does this relate to everyday business owners? The way this relates to you as a business owner is that you don't actually have to stop selling what you offer or what you have, your service or your product. So in other words, you don't have to stop selling your cheeseburger or your chicken nuggets. But what you do have to do is you have to present it in a new wrapper, a new way, something in which it appears to be new and it's for a limited time. And at some point, we'll have a workshop that kind of goes more in depth with that. It'll touch a little bit on how to become better with your offer creations. But you don't have to change everything. You don't have to make it brand new. A small example of that for any business owner could be Black Friday, for example, where you can sell much of the same what you already have, but for a limited time, they're able to access that thing or service for a very, very limited or specific discount, right? Okay, now going back to this verse more specifically, make the most of the time because the days are evil, buying up each opportunity. What's cool about this is, again, we already mentioned how we all essentially are buying time. We all understand that time is 1,000 times more valuable than money. Yet a lot of us, we know this mentally, but we don't actually act on this outwardly, right? In other words, think about all of the things that you've done that were a waste of time, something that you can never get back. You can spend money on something and you can ultimately earn that money back, make that money back, as people say, right? But you can't make that time back, all right? So in the King James Version, I like the word of the redeeming of time, right? The same thing as stability to buy. And the best way to actually buy time in this 21st century technology world, artificial intelligence, automation, et cetera, is basically using those tools, is to actually use those tools to buy back your time. As a matter of fact, think about it this way. If you're in business right now and you're for whatever reason, you're choosing not to use those tools, it's essentially like the revolution of going from a horse and buggy to a car, and then you choosing to say to yourself and your family, no, we're going to stick to the way things have always been. We're not going to get a car. We're going to stick to horse and buggy. And what will happen? And what happened with the horse and buggy is this: in such a short period of time, the progression of technology accelerated to where it appeared that the initial cars, right, at that point, carts basically with little motors, it appeared that those carts were going to be stagnant. But as technology increased, the horse and buggy just became completely obsolete. It's not that the horse and buggy do not work. That's not what I'm saying. It obviously works. You can still use a horse and buggy today. But the amount of time it will take you to get from point A to point B versus having a vehicle, aka a car, it's laughable. And that's what's happening right now with technology. I'm meeting a lot of adults who are not locking arms with technology. And what seems like no big deal right now, it will ultimately have them become obsolete. Because as technology is advancing so rapidly, I don't know whether it's going to be in the next 6 months or the next year, but it's going to be night and day of a difference. So you're better off embracing technology now because you don't want to miss the wave. Because in this case, if you miss the wave, your livelihood, your income that's tied to it, it goes completely out of the window. It's done for. So just don't forget to use what you already have access to. Okay? Now, the last part of this verse that stood out to me is because the days are evil. At face value, the word evil, we all can think of, so many things. I think of, the stuff I watch with my kids, with these little movies where the bad guy is considered evil and, they have this like diabolical laugh. Okay. However, the actual translation for this word evil is not evil in that sense. Okay. It's actually evil in the sense of hard or tough. It would be the equivalent of, it's the equivalent of when Adam and Eve were told that they would have to toil or work hard, or Adam was told he would have to toil or work hard, for the ground, right? So basically to produce anything out of the ground, he would have to work extremely hard. Where in the Garden of Eden, obviously those things were much easier, right? But he would have to toil so hard just to get an ounce of the same result, right? That is what this is talking about when it says the days are evil. So right now, if you're not someone who's willing to buy back your time, right? Because you can buy back your time by delegating. You can buy back your time by having employees. You can buy back your time by having automation. You can buy back your time by having technology. If you're not willing to essentially buy back your time, if you think about it again, we buy back our time for our loved ones, or the people that we love or value, right? Or the things that we love and value the most. That could be your health. That could be your sanity. Could be time to yourself. It could be a spouse, right? If you don't, you have to understand that the times are evil. Not evil as far as diabolical, but evil in the sense that hard or harsh, meaning in which that it will be more difficult to get from point A to point B if you are not buying back your time. All right. So that's what I wanted to share. That's something that I saw reading this verse. If you see something different, please let me know. As a matter of fact, as you go throughout your day, if you have a chance to actually on your own open up Ephesians chapter 5 and look at verse 16, let me know what you interpret from this particular verse. Let me know what you see when you put the word evil into your strong concordance or some other type of concordance that you might use. Let me know your thoughts in reference to the verses that are on either side, so verse 15 and verse 17, and how that maybe help you to get a better or maybe less of a context in reference to verse 16. So I'm eager to hear and to know what your insights are. And with that being said, I hope that you have an amazing day that is prosperous and full of profit. Talk to you soon.